Well, good morning. The UNF Student IEEE chapter asked me, Brian Kopp, to speak a little bit about engineering consulting. And so I thought I'd tell you a little bit about my experience being a consultant. I've worked as a consultant for over 20 years. Consulting is a really general term. It can encompass professional services that you might offer someone. That can be design, which is what engineers typically think about. It can be product development. It can be planning. It can be design at multiple levels. It could be a system design or all the way down to a particular product or even a sub-assembly design that you might do. Those are some technical services you might offer, but you might also get involved in things like construction-related services. If a agency like the state of Florida, Department of Transportation, were to hire you, you might actually be helping them build their electrical engineering systems that they might have, whether it's communications or intelligent transportation systems. And by helping them, I mean you might be providing services that are related to the construction of those systems. You're not designing them, you're helping make sure that they get put in right. Okay? You might get called by a company or an operator of some sort of equipment that needs your help in analyzing it, troubleshooting it, figuring out how well it works, figuring out where problems are. You might be asked to survey somebody's systems. These are all possible things a consultant might end up doing. Okay? There's no way to define exactly what a consultant is. It's a pretty general term. Sometimes consultants get referred to as contract engineers. In contract engineering, you're typically contracted to do a specific thing. That can be thought of as consulting. Really, consulting in a general term, I think about as any outsourced activity that a company wants done because they can't do it themselves. All right? So you'll oftentimes find a company that has a very specific focus. They build a particular widget, and that's what they sell. So their engineers are working on designing that widget, maintaining the design, answering problems from customers and fixing things in the design, making sure the manufacturing's correct and staying on top of that. And that's their focus. But then when the idea comes along to build a new product, they don't have the staff to do that, to do the design, to do the research to figure out how to do the design. And so they'll lean on consultants who are experts in knowing what needs to be known to do that. So for instance, if I've been selling a product for 10 years, I may not know what the new capabilities are in the marketplace. If I hire a consultant, it's their job to know that sort of thing, if I hire the right consultant, and they'll come in and educate me, in essence, on what I need to know to build a new product. There's often a joke that's batted around that a consultant's job is to take your watch from you and tell you what time it is. So that's kind of an idea that a consultant is really there to help you do your job. Okay, that's where consultants are typically hired. Consultants can be part-time and full-time. I've worked both ways, where it's been my principal job, but more years out of the past 20, 25 years that I've done consulting work, more years have been part-time than full-time. So in that situation, like my current situation where I'm a full-time employee at the University of North Florida, I only do a few hours a week of consulting. And that's great because it keeps me involved in the industry, keeps my consulting clients happy, and lets me do my job at the university. So it's common to see part-time consultants. So there's no real difference between consultants and regular full-time engineering employees. In fact, I know quite a few salaried consultants. There are companies that are called professional services companies that work in the engineering field. Haskell's a good example for those of you here in Jacksonville, Florida. There are some large corporations like H&TB, Atkins, that do this kind of service work. And they are consultants, and they work full-time as consultants for clients. And those companies will have many, many clients, and their employees are consultants, and they get hired out to these client companies. So, consulting doesn't really differ from contract engineering. I think I mentioned that. I don't discern between the two. If someone calls me and asks them to help them develop a product, that's the same as someone else calling me asking them to come and troubleshoot a problem they're having with their current system. One question I do get is how do you actually get into consulting? Boy, I wish I had the answer for that one. There's it tends to be just a situational bit of luck. You're working on something and someone says, "Hey, could you work on this for me?" And you say, "Well, I've got this job that I'm doing, but I could, do it a few hours a week for you," and that's how it starts. Okay. I do have a website for my consulting company, but I can't say that in 20 years of having a website that I ever got a job because of the website. It's always just been, hey, I've got a website, and you want to find out what I do, here's how you find that out. Now, I have had clients that I have go and look at the website and then ask me to do maybe some other thing that I'm working on, but I'm not sure it's never been a cold call to my website that got me new work. So it's mostly word of mouth, unfortunately. And that takes a little bit of experience, so don't expect to get out of school and become a consultant right away. Anyway, I hope that gives you a little bit about the world of consulting. For those of you here at UNF, you know how to get a hold of me. Feel free to ask me questions anytime. All right, take care.